Sorry, but Star Trek tricked you into thinking this classic episode got a happy ending. One of the great strengths of Star Trek has always been its ability to balance optimism with realism. Gene Roddenberry's vision promised a future where humanity had evolved beyond petty conflict, but the franchise never shied away from exploring moral dilemmas, painful compromises, and the limits of even the noblest intentions. Yet, every now and then, an episode leaves viewers with the illusion of triumph, an ending that feels satisfying in the moment, but on closer inspection is anything but happy. And few episodes embody that better than The City on the Edge of Forever from Star Trek, the original series. Widely hailed as one of the franchise's greatest episodes, it is often remembered for its sweeping romance, its heart-wrenching climax, and the way it encapsulates the moral complexity that defines Trek. But for all its beauty, it's also a story that disguises tragedy as bittersweet closure. Sorry, but Star Trek tricked you. This wasn't a happy ending, it was one of the darkest sacrifices ever made in the series. The setup: love, time travel, and temptation. The episode begins with an accident. Dr. McCoy, delirious after a mishap with a medical hypospray, stumbles through the Guardian of Forever, an ancient time portal. His unplanned trip alters history itself, erasing the Enterprise and leaving Kirk and Spock stranded on a barren world. Their only hope? Follow McCoy through the portal, find him, and repair the timeline. On the surface, it's a classic sci-fi hook, but things escalate when Captain Kirk falls in love. In 1930s New York, he meets Edith Keeler, a visionary social worker whose kindness and idealism captivate him. She's not just another one-episode love interest, she embodies everything Kirk admires about humanity's future: compassion, intelligence, and hope. Their relationship feels genuine, not rushed, and for once it looks like the stoic captain has found someone who could truly matter to him. For viewers, it feels like a fairy tale set against the grit of the Great Depression. Kirk, usually married to his starship, dares to dream of a life beyond command. And yet, the illusion of romance is the setup for a devastating reveal. The twist: a death that preserves the future. Through his research, Spock discovers the chilling truth. Edith Keeler is the fixed point in history that must be corrected. If she lives, her pacifist movement delays America's entry into World War II, giving Nazi Germany the advantage it needs to win. If Kirk saves her, the Federation itself will never exist. The implications are staggering. Edith's very survival means the death of the future. And so Kirk, who has found perhaps the greatest love of his life, must stand by and let her die. The climactic moment comes when McCoy, having regained his senses, tries to save Edith from being hit by a car. Kirk restrains him, holding him back as she is struck and killed instantly. Spock's grim words seal the moment. He knows, Doctor. He knows. Viewers at the time might have read this as heroic sacrifice, Kirk choosing duty over desire. But if you look closer, this isn't a noble victory. It's a hollow, shattering defeat. Why it isn't a happy ending? At first glance, the timeline is restored, the Enterprise exists once more, and Kirk and his crew are alive to continue their voyages. That's a win, right? Not really. Kirk loses the love of his life. The tragedy isn't softened by time. Unlike many episodic romances, Edith Keeler lingers in the canon as the one who might have been. This wasn't a fling. It was a soul-deep connection cut short by cruel fate. The crew gains nothing from the ordeal. There's no lesson learned that feels uplifting. Instead, they're forced to accept that sometimes doing the right thing means breaking your own heart. The Guardian's test is merciless. The episode doesn't suggest that Edith's death was just tragic coincidence. It was necessary. Kirk's choice is reduced to one of grim inevitability: watch her die or watch civilization collapse. The future itself rests on suffering. The Federation's utopia is preserved, but only through Kirk's personal agony. The optimism of Star Trek survives, but at an impossible cost. The ending doesn't celebrate survival. It underscores the brutality of moral compromise. It shows that even in the utopian world of Star Trek, not every problem has a solution where everyone wins. The legacy of tragic optimism. The City on the Edge of Forever is remembered as one of Star Trek's greatest episodes not because it gives us comfort,